Chef Cobb's catch down the right sideline?
Really nice. Big time catch. I thought that ref did a great job because that ref initially signaled incomplete, and you could see the wheels turning, and that was a good job by him of really thinking through what happened there. Because a lot of times those refs, when they initially signal incomplete, then they won't change their mind. So that was an unbelievable catch and good job of officiating.
Taylor seemed a lot more
You said a couple weeks ago they were blitzing you a lot. Is that still the case? If so, why? If not, why?
Some teams have, some teams haven't. I mean, BYU came out and blitzed us more and different than we had seen them in the past. Nevada blitzed about the same amount they've been blitzing other teams. So, you're always studying defenses that you're playing and see, like, what's their pressure percentage on different field zones, different down and distances. And then sometimes it holds true to form, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes what type of quarterback, running quarterback versus pocket quarterback will dictate that. But Nevada was about the same as they had been against other teams.
Taylor seemed a lot more confident in his receivers on those deep balls over the weekend. I mean, in your experience, is that trust in his receivers something that the great quarterbacks always share, they always have? And what does it take for a receiver to build that confidence?
Well, for the receiver, he has to make plays. That's how the receiver does it. Is when he gets his chances, he makes plays. So for a quarterback, mostly on the downfield throws, we just talked to Taylor about giving him a chance, like give him a chance to make a play. So him to, we got some guys on 50-50 balls. That's what some people call them. Can go get it, and they're probably doing better than 50-50 right now. So. Yeah, it's both. It's both. It's a quarterback giving them a chance, and then those guys showing they can make the plays. And that's something that you build in practice. Hopefully, for Taylor moving forward, they build that in the off season. That's the kind of stuff they can work on, without the coaches out there on their own.
Going along with that, it's we've seen his timing be so good on some throws where it seems like he's hitting receivers right when they come out of their breaks. How do you, as a coach, teach that? Is that footwork, or is that just continuity? The timing, how do you get that?
It's both. It's both. So the footwork is part of it. Tying his, whether it's a drop back or it's on the move, tying. I mean, it's really a matter of just knowing how many steps you can take based on how deep the receiver's going, how far the ball has to travel, and at what time that you have to let it go. And Taylor has improved greatly in that area, and continues. He had a couple of throws that, especially in the red zone the other night, that ball location or getting the ball out a little quicker, and then obviously weather added to that, and a slick field added to that the other night.
Did you have to change anything for him? You knew the weather was coming, so that was probably part of the Monday through Friday prep. But when it came down like that, did you have to tweak anything for him? I'm assuming he's rarely, if ever, played in snow.
Yeah, I'm sure he hasn't. We worked some wet ball stuff the last couple of weeks just in practice, and the ball being wet more than the snow. I think the snow affected more the vision of the receivers, at times in that second quarter, especially on either deep balls or on kicks. That ball was hard to track. But I was a little nervous in warm-ups. We had some issues in warm-ups, but they snapped out of it pretty quick.
Our weekly getting guys more touches question.
Yeah, who do you want this week? Who is it this week?
How eager are you to get George Holani a few more passes?
Same answer as last week. I could care less. Last week you asked for Ashley to get more. I thought someone was going to be asking for T. Crow more touches after what he did. I mean,
that was going to be my question.
Yeah, of course. Everyone, let's get T. Crow some touches, and let's get Fato some touches. Oh, he was hurt. He couldn't be out there. So.
You played 4 quarterbacks. Could you play 5?
Oh, we don't have 5.
What did Maddox do the last couple weeks to kind of jump up to that number 2 quarterback?
He's just real consistent, and he gets the ball out on time, and he makes good decisions, and he's just really come on strong. And we still like Sam a lot as well. That's not a forever battle, and I think competition competition during the season is healthy. Another good example of that is how Eric McAllister has pushed Billy Wingfield, and I think Billy has played better since we started playing McAllister more. So, I mean, I think competition usually brings out the best in everybody.
I know you've been like around the last couple of years, but obviously getting Ben Dooley kind of eased back into action along the line. How, I guess, what does he add? Not to take anything away from the other guys, but if you can keep getting him back in there, what does that do for the line?
Yeah, just a proven, very stout, strong run blocker that can move people off the line of scrimmage. And, you know, Ben's coming off a very, very serious injury. I mean, it's been a long road back for him, and he's worked hard to get back. It's just, it's unfortunate that it's at this part of the season that now he's, you know, because when it's in a lower extremity, it also affects your conditioning. So, you know, just to get back in football shape, he's got an awesome attitude, and we're all rooting for him. And it's just, you know, it's just not an easy road back, but he's sure working at it.
How impressive was George Alani's 49-yard touchdown run? And kind of talking with him about it, man. Like, from the time he got the ball, everything he did was very intentional in order to get to the end zone.
Well, first of all, if you saw the film clip of that from the end zone, that hole was about as big as you're ever going to see in college football. I mean, the initial 15 yards that he got on that was all due to great blocking, and we had several plays like that. But that last 15 yards, and he had two runs like that. He had that other one at the other end of the stadium where he, you know, made people miss. He carried people. He broke. That goes back to when we were just talking about George a couple weeks ago. His lower body power is real impressive. And yeah, that was a highlight run for sure.
Do you call different runs for him than Ashton? Because it seems like when Ashton goes through, a lot of his seem to be powerful, more straight ahead, and George sometimes can do things, or is it just the way, once they get across the line, that they have different styles?
Yeah, that's just their styles. Yeah, that's just their styles. Ashton had a couple real nice runs when he first went in, and I think that was really the first game since Ashton got hurt at Air Force that he was back 100%, like really feeling himself. You could, right when he went in, his first two touches, you know, he really gives us a great 1-2 punch when those guys are both fully healthy.
What, in your eyes, what are kind of the strengths of Eric McAllister, and where do you want him to develop the next couple weeks?
Okay, well, I'll start with the develop part, and that's easy. Consistency. Like, very talented kid, and like those 50-50 balls, he's way higher than 50-50. You know, he goes and gets it. And so consistency and doing all the things that Coach Miller is coaching him to do as a wideout, including blocking. Like, our receivers block their tails off in this game. Coach Avalos at the team meeting yesterday showed some, not only the line, the tight ends, but the receivers had some really good blocking. So EMAC, as he's known, he just has to be more consistent. Real talent. Bright future for that kid.
How much does this offense need somebody like that, though, in order to kind of be able to open things up and stretch it a little bit?
Sure, every offense needs that. You know, whether you either need fast guys who can take the top off, and you need big guys who can go get those 50-50 jump balls.
However, I mean, it's one thing in the offseason to pass guys up or to earn the playing time, but like in the middle of the season to be able to, you know, you look at the guys ahead of them, you guys got some pretty good wide receivers. I mean, how rare, I guess, or hard is that to be able to do what he's doing to earn this playing time in the middle of the season?
Well, I think that just depends on the coaching staff. You know, Coach Avalos, again, he's got these guys competing hard during the week. And on Tuesday practices, we do more good on good here than any place I've ever been. We do a lot of good on good, meaning, you know, our best offensive guys against our best defensive guys running our own schemes, so not necessarily our opponent's schemes. And then I think just, again, Coach Avalos having the courage to keep adjusting the depth chart, not just because of injury, but because of performance. And so when players see that, guess what? That's why guys are willing to keep competing instead of just saying, oh, I'm going to wait till next year, I'm a red shirt, or I'm a backup, or whatever. Guys see other guys get elevated, and they keep working at it in practice.
What was a game like this where you're able to get a lot of people in, and you rattle off all the guys who came in running back or quarterback from a mental standpoint and also just an experience standpoint?
Yeah, well, Coach Avalos, again, always talks about building dependable depth. You build dependable depth by getting guys in the game. And the other thing is, you know, this is the dog days of football season of the however many Division I teams. There's a lot of teams just finishing it out, and there's a lot of players probably just finishing it out. So at this point in the season, when it's cold and dark and snowy and windy, and Thanksgiving's coming and all the other stuff going on, to get guys in the game, that gives everybody a little shot in the arm, and it's really good for morale.
For you, I mean, with that said, I mean, you've obviously done a lot of good things in your career, but to come in here and you guys win on Saturday, you lock up a spot in the championship game. I mean, what I know, you know, Mountain West title this year may not be like the highest achievement of your career, but I mean, what's this mean to you to try to win a championship here?
Well, I actually didn't know we clinched a spot in the Mountain West.
So if you win on Saturday.
Oh, well, shoot, now you're going to put qualifications on it. Yeah. I mean, if you're a competitor, you want to win, and I mean, one of the reasons I came back was for this group of players and this group of coaches to, you know, give them my best for these couple months, and you know, these guys work hard. We all put a lot into it, so we'll give it our best to get it. It's real important.
I know it's early, and I know 6 weeks ago we were just questioning whether Taylor Green could even throw a football, but do you see the initial signs of pro football potential for him as a part of a responsibility of a program to kind of identify that early and groom him on and off the field to get to where he could potentially go?
Oh, that's a good question right there. You know, Taylor is just improving at such a rapid rate, and it's exceeded even my expectations, and I have very high expectations as how quickly he's gotten to where he is. You know, I hadn't given that too much thought. I mean, I think it's probably a better off-season topic or for some talk radio show or something like that, but not for me to talk about.
Last one.
What about Wyoming's defense? Their numbers look pretty good, so what are you expecting to see and what do they do
Yep.
best?
Well, it starts off with Wyoming's defense is extremely well coached and fundamentally sound. Like they play their techniques, and they've only got 3 starters back, so they're relatively young, but they have really, really good length. You know, they have, you know, 6'3", 6'4", 6'5" guys across the front. They have big, tall linebackers. They've always had successful linebackers. They have a couple guys playing in the NFL right now, and they have two good ones this year. A lot of new guys in the secondary from last year, but you know, Coach Bowl is a heck of a football coach, and it's just like we had, I think, 13 explosives last week in the Nevada game. It'd be hard to get 13 explosives in multiple games against Wyoming. They're just not going to give you much. You got to earn it, and to move the ball on these guys, you got to execute. They're good tacklers, so we have a big challenge. I mean, that's why they're where they're at as a program. They're a hard team. It's not that they're overly complicated. They're just good at what they do, and I would equate that a lot to how Boise State's defense is.